So you were a car salesman.
Hated that.
Hated that.
And then from there, had the opportunity to go into church ministry. And didn't really know entirely what that would look like, but I'd gotten some experience through my time in Iraq. I was doing the music in church services and had done that in high school some, but on a much more limited basis. But we got, when Erin was on her way out of the Army with Patrick on the way, my son Patrick, we got hired at a church in northern Michigan. And so I went up there. And that was the first time in my life I lived in a town that wasn't a military town. So that was a little bit weird. Culture's different. I mean, I grew up in a military town. I served in a military town. Everywhere we lived was a military town. And so there's a certain degree of patriotism that's built into the culture that was absent. There's a certain degree of discipline and respect for time that's absent. I think the only thing that really bothered me was, and this has become worse in recent years, is sort of the deification of veterans. I think that people look on what happened with the Vietnam vets when they came home and they were spat upon, and that's all shameful. And there's a sincere effort to want to correct that. And so you get a lot of the thank you for your service kind of stuff. But in my opinion, it goes too far. Most vets I know wouldn't just be treated as people. They don't want to be put on a pedestal. They certainly don't want to become the objects for politicians making points or, one of the things I hate is when vets are used to say we shouldn't help this group because what about our vets? And honestly, I think that most people don't give a shit about the vets, except as a talking point. You meet a veteran, you say, well, thank you for your service. But no one wants to take the time to listen to what the service was actually like. You say, thank you for your service, but they're not going to lift a finger to actually help the veteran community. And you say, well, we shouldn't be helping homeless people until we help our homeless vets. Great. I think you should do both, but great. Go help the vets. What are you doing to do that? Or are you just making a talking point? And I think for most people, it is such disingenuous bullshit. That probably offends me more than anything else. And then on the other hand, you have people who fall all over themselves over veterans. I'm like, dude, we still bleed red. I mean, we're just people. I don't want to be put on a pedestal, and most of the veterans I know don't want to be put on pedestals. We did what we did. You chose something different. That's fine. I do have a really deep and abiding love for my country. I really do. I think patriotism is a good thing, and it hurts my heart that it's gone out of style. That it's more popular these days to trample on the flag than it is to fly a flag. That's heartbreaking to me. I still hate the idea of taking a knee for the national anthem. But I also believe that when I swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that part of supporting and defending that Constitution was supporting and defending their right to offend me. And so I think that there's wrong on both ends. And during that whole controversy in the NFL about Kaepernick and all these other guys taking a knee, they would always bring up the vets. Well, what about the veterans who fought and died? It's not about us. It's not about us. Like, if you're going to stand for the flag, don't stand for the veterans. Stand because the country is great. And with all of its warts and all of its history, I still believe that there is no country in this world that is greater than the United States. Show me one country in the world that didn't have some kind of an issue, some kind of a moral issue, moral failing in their history and their background. And we acknowledge them. That's one of the things that's unique about our countries. We acknowledge them and try to move on. People want to keep shitting on America because of its past. Show me a country that's better. Show me a culture that historically goes back and is pure. It doesn't exist. And I love the country that we have. And I love its potential. And so if you're going to stand for the national anthem, stand because our country is great. Not because of the people who died for it. Because I guarantee they wouldn't want you standing for them either. They would want you standing for the flag that they served under. Sorry. That's my little spiel.
I think that's great.